Hi, Derek here. Just a quick, hopefully quick 10-minute video on um, the brush tool in Photoshop and how it can be used more effectively. Um, we're in Camera Raw just now. We have a brush tool here, and to click it, to select it, sorry, just click on that. To select any of the tools up here, just click on them, and that's you got them. You've got very little options on right click, but if you do right click and drag right or left, you'll make the brush bigger. And if you drive up and down, it's not so good here up and down, but you should be able to make the feather that little bit bigger as well. But just sticking with the size just now, right click on the normal mouse will do it, and drag to the left to make it smaller, drag it to the right to make it bigger. Simple, easy. On this one picture, I'm going to take the exposure down a little bit, but I don't really want the exposure taken down on the trees, really just on the white bit. So take the highlights down, as a given. I'm on the brush tool, so we'll take the brush off actually. We'll take the highlights down first. And it gets a little bit, if we press the letter P, it will tell us a before and after. And after, you can see it's not made an awful lot of difference. It took some of the glare out, but we also want to drop the exposure. But you can see that that's having the effect of dropping the exposure on the trees. So we're going to get the brush tool, and the brush tool in Camera Raw is quite good. You can select any one of these things on the right. If you select either the minus from the side or the plus for this side, if you hit it once, it will reset all the sliders except for the one that you've got selected. We've got exposure selected, so I'm going to put up to 1.0 because it's going to make it just slightly better than it was before. And we'll take the brush size down just a little bit. We're just a wee bit big, and we're just going to brush in the exposure into the trees here. And that's probably just a bit too much, so we'll take it down a bit. And then we'll hold the Alt key, which is equivalent to the razor, and we'll just make sure that we're not adding any exposure into the sky or taking it away from the sky. So we've got it at plus 6.6, and we'll take the highlights down, and we'll bump the clarity up, and we maybe just bump some of the saturation up, although I'm not really wanting to do that just now. So we'll take the hand tool back now, and we'll bump the vibrance up a bit. That gives us a bit more colour into all these kind of mid-tones. It never affected the kind of sky or the water. Still a bit bright on the water, so I'm going to get another brush, and again we're going to go down by half a stop. Again, big brush, and we'll just brush over here again, and that's a bit better. It's maybe just a bit too low this time, so we'll just take it up a tiny bit. I think that's okay now. And let's have a wee look at some of these presets. This is as shot for the white balance. Gives it a bit more daylight, cloudy, shade. Didn't put too much warming colours in there. I think I'll just go for as shot. Daylight, actually, I quite like daylight. But amongst all this, there's still more colour to come out. So what I'm going to do is take it into Photoshop proper. It just takes a second or two because I've got the camera and the screen recorder going. And once we're in there, we're going to use the brush in the main here with curves to bring more colour out here and do a bit better and kind of bring in some of that glare off of the front of this water here. So what we're doing, get a curve layer, and I'm going to use this little tool here called Scrubber. I'm just going to scrub down the way, and that should give me just the look I'm looking for. And if we put that down there, yeah, I'm quite happy with that. But it's not just brought the water down and the sky down, it's also brought the colour of our shadowed area, our shady areas down. So what I'm going to do is fill this layer mask with black. We're going to hide everything that I've just done in Photoshop. So holding Shift key, press the backspace, and it's going to fill it with the foreground colour. And now we're going to get the brush here in Photoshop. So B on your keyboard or press over here. Press B, gives you the brush tool. When you first get the brush, you will have a smaller amount of brushes than this. I've got straight edge brushes, and a straight edge brush is exactly as it says. We'll go for a straight one here, number 3. We'll make it a bit bigger so you can see it. And if I draw along there, you'll see that there's no bleed. It's exactly the diameter of the ink is exactly the same as the diameter of the brush. But if I get a softer brush, say 24, and I do the same, you see it graduates from solid in the middle to it's feathered right out to the kind of edge of the brush stroke. So for something like this, I want to bring some of the colours out here. So I'm going to go down to here. I want to, on my layer mask, use a soft brush because I want to reveal what's underneath the mask. What was under the mask was a brighter, greener area. Actually, I think I've got it back to front. Actually, what we want to do with the brush is brush the darkness into the water here. So we'll get a big brush, a big soft brush, and we'll just do that. And we're doing that pretty much just in the water. And again, we'll make the brush a bit smaller. You make the brush smaller using the size scale here. You could use that to make it bigger or smaller. Or on your keyboard, beside the number, beside the letter P on your keyboard, on a Windows keyboard, you have the square brackets. The left one makes it smaller and the right one makes it bigger. And we want it smaller just to go into this area here. And take an edge of the trees, and that's why you've got a feathered edge, so we can go over the edge of these trees and we're not leaving a halo as such. Now in my next layer I'm going to bring out some of the colours in the trees, and we're going to pretty much the exact same thing. We'll start with the reds, and you think there's probably no reds in here, but there's actually quite a lot of reds. So again, using the scrubber, if we go up the way, you see we've added quite a bit of red in there, far too much red actually. Oops. So what we'll do again is we're going to fill that with black, and we're just going to paint, use the brush again, and we're going to paint to reveal. So black conceals, white reveals, and we want to reveal what's underneath that mask, and to do that we have to paint some white onto the mask. So it's probably a bit heavy on the red there. That's okay. I'm working here at 100%. Let's take that back. I generally only work about 5 or 10% my brush, 20% that sort of area. I'm working at 100, which it's like putting all the paint out your paintbrush in one go. So just at 20% now, and we'll just bring out some of it. I'm barely touching. I've got a pressure sensitive pen and touch pad here. I'm barely touching it, and over here I'm just going to hit the bits that are got yellow and darker colours in it and try and bring them out and bring it out over there. And again, we're doing our best to try and steer away from the water, although I will put a little bit just under here, not so much the red, but we're going to put other colours over the top of that, so we can leave the red there at the moment. Again, a new curves layer. This time we're going to go for the blue, sorry, green. Again, get the scrubber, and we'll go over here and we'll just touch right in the middle of that, and we'll just drag it up just a little touch. But again, it's done it to the whole surface, so we're going to fill that mask to hide everything. And it's not hiding the things we've done in this layer, it's only hiding this green here. And then we're back to here, back to our brush. And again, a nice big brush, and this time we're only going to paint into the green area. And just reveal some of the greener colours in here. Might do a wee bit of there for that red down here. There's not an awful lot of green over here, but for what we see, we'll try and bring it back in. There's not much down here at all. And then our last curve layer is just going to be blue and yellow. So not much blue in this image, but maybe put a wee bit into the shadows. But in the main, I think we're going to bring some yellow in across here in mid-tones, so we'll just do that. And again, water's starting to look a bit funky, don't worry about that. Now we've hidden that layer again. We'll get back to our big brush, back to white as our foreground colour, and we'll just gently bring some of that yellow through. So now we've got yellow, green, red all playing a part in this image over here. And here we're just going to the actual bits that are yellow. We don't want too much yellow going on to that green, it just looks naff. And there you go. I'm going to put a little bit of this stuff under here. And again, just maybe a small bit under here. And that's fine. And that's it. There you go. So we started off certainly in here. That was our colours here, and look how much lighter and brighter and more vibrant they are. Hope that's helped you. That's using layer masks and a brush. Now, the point with layer masks is, I don't know why I had this top layer up, we never actually used it for anything, I'll just delete that. Get tied up here with mice and things, but just get rid of that. When it comes to your layer masks, black conceals and white reveals. So whenever you do an adjustment to a layer using any of the selections down here, the adjustment layers, whenever you do one of these, the black will conceal all of that adjustment, and you're only going to reveal the bits you want to reveal. So for instance, sorry, I've just picked another layer up there. On this layer here, I only revealed some yellow by all these light bits here, and on this one here we only revealed some green, you can see it on the other side, and on this one here we did some of the darker yellows and reds. And maybe this one here, I think, takes some of that out to take the flow of the brush down again, and this is where the flow of the brush is much better than the opacity of the layer. Black to conceal, white to reveal. So I'm just hiding some of that effect there, and that's fine. Now maybe bring just a little bit in down here. So that's what you would use your brush for. Now if you're using your brush, so you can select any one that you've got loaded. To load brushes, you hit this little icon here, and you can load any one of these ones. All you do is tap on it, and it will give you the option to replace all these brushes or append, which was basically add the new set of brushes onto the end of here. I'm not going to do that just now. And likewise, if you get anything that you can right click, so for instance we can take the clone stamp tool, maybe not the clone stamp tool, then maybe something else, anything that at all that you can alter your flow and your opacity. Just think about it being using it as like a brush. So hope that helps you. Okay, bye bye.